A woman named Carly met a handsome man named Mark King. This was the start of their affair. Carly was very happy. Mark seemed perfect to her. Moreover, he was very successful and made a good income. 2 months passed. To commemorate this milestone, Mark gave his beloved a special gift. However, Carly had no idea that Mark was married. His wife Kate was rather dull and cared for her husband's health, while he was reluctant to lead a healthy lifestyle. Before leaving for work, Mark asked his wife to sign some papers. He claimed it was a formality for the accounting department. Kate didn't understand such matters and felt ashamed of it. She was considering taking special courses to improve her intelligence. Carly, on the other hand, was a successful lawyer. Lydia, her secretary, couldn't understand why Carly worked so much. With her looks, she could have easily married well. Carly admitted that she had a boyfriend, and today she intends to introduce him to her father. At that time, Kate called Mark and reminded him of their plans for the evening. However, Mark said he had too much work to do today. But when Kate, full of enthusiasm, told her husband she had decided to come into town to pick him up, he was forced to cancel his plans. Later, Mark lied to Carly that a pipe had burst in his country house, so he would have to go there. Carly was angry, because the beloved had promised that he would have dinner with her and her father today. As a result, she went to the restaurant alone. Frank told the daughter about his new girlfriend. She in turn told about her quarrel with Mark. The father advised his daughter to go to her lover right away and surprise him. Carly decided to heed the father's advice. Having called a taxi, she arrived at Mark's country house, but the door was opened by Kate. At first, Carly thought it was Mark's housekeeper, but she soon realized that it was his wife. Carly started to behave nervously and pretended she had the wrong address. But as she was leaving, she broke her heel. Kate was puzzled. She immediately understood that this woman had not made a mistake with the address. On Monday, Carly came to work very angry. Seeing a bouquet from Mark with a note, she became even more furious. Lydia asked what happened. Carly said that Mark was married. She loves him, but she doesn't want to break up another family and won't forgive the betrayal. Later, Kate came to Carly's workplace. She found her number in the husband's phone. Kate asked Carly directly if she was dating Mark. Carly saw no point in denying it. Kate had a breakdown. All the office workers noticed this and started gossiping. Carly politely asked Kate to leave and promised to tell her everything later. In the evening, the women met at a bar. Kate was shocked to learn the truth. She had quit her job so her husband could focus on his, and had done everything for him, only to receive betrayal in return. According to Carly, men like Mark don't change. Even if Kate stays with him, sooner or later he will betray her again. Kate got very drunk. Carly walked her to a cab, but the woman didn't want to leave and tried to hug the one she should consider her rival. Carly managed to get her into a taxi nonetheless. Returning home, Kate looked at the husband, who hadn't even noticed her absence. All the next day, Kate was thinking about what to do now. During a meeting, Carly was informed that Kate was waiting for her downstairs. Carly had no choice but to agree to talk to her. Carly bluntly told Kate that she didn't want to see either her or Mark. She isn't interested in the problems of their marriage, but Kate desperately needs a friend who understands her. When Carly got home, she heard a knock at the door. It was Kate, who offered to have dinner together. It turned out that she had been spying on Carly to find out where she lived. Carly reluctantly opened the door. Kate couldn't hold back and burst into tears. She really wants to leave the husband, but she has no job, no money, and no friends who could support her. Carly still let Kate into the apartment. At that moment, Carly received a call from Mark, but ignored it. Kate was even more upset when she found out that her husband continued to call another woman. Carly realized that she wouldn't be able to endure this conversation without wine. Later, Kate confessed that she thought Carly was perfect, because she had luxurious apartment, high-paying job and attractive looks. While Kate neglects herself, being completely focused on her husband. The women quickly became friends. They were united by the fact that both of them were deceived by the man they loved. In the morning, the women were suffering from a severe hangover. Kate finally decided to divorce Mark, as thanks to Carly she now knew that she had the right to claim half of her husband's money. At night, Carly got another call from Kate, who asked her to come over urgently. It turned out that in a fit of emotion, Kate had trashed the husband's private room. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. It was Phil, Kate's brother. Carly introduced herself as Carmela, Kate's decorator, to avoid any misunderstandings. Phil immediately took a liking to Carly, and the feeling was mutual. In the evening, Mark returned and found a mess in his private room. Kate lied that she was renovating. She pretended not to know about the affair. Mark was in a great mood. It turned out that investors had approved his project, meaning the business would thrive. Mark offered to celebrate the occasion. Later, Kate called the friend and said that she was now unsure about her decision to leave her husband. Carly considers this a big mistake because she knows from experience that Mark knows how to manipulate. However, Kate couldn't resist. But while she was in the bathroom, Mark received a call from a woman. Kate heard the conversation and was upset, lying to Mark that she was feeling unwell. The next day, Kate ignored Carly's messages, believing that it was she who was talking to Mark on the phone the day before. Phil noticed his sister was on edge. She broke down in tears, telling her brother that the woman was actually named Carly and she had been dating her husband. But that's not the worst of it right now. Kate suspects that Carly didn't actually break up with Mark. In Kate's opinion, she only pretended to be her friend in order to spy on her. Kate intends to expose Carly and invited her to a cafe, asking her directly if her relationship with Mark is still going on. Carly said that it was complete nonsense, she would never do that. At that moment Kate realized there was a third woman in Mark's life. Mark still has no idea that his wife knows the truth. When he supposedly left on another business trip, Kate and Carly followed him, but couldn't find out anything. After that, the women went to Phil and told him about their cunning plan. Later, they spied on Mark at the beach. That's how the women found out that Mark was dating a girl who was much prettier than both of them. Carly, who until that point had kept her cool, was hurt. She ran after the beauty, but Kate managed to stop her just in time. Sure enough, they caught the attention of the girl, who asked what was going on. After calming down, they explained the situation to Amber. The girl was very upset because she loves Mark. Also, Amber said that according to Mark, he filed for divorce because of his wife's infidelity. Hearing this, Kate was outraged. Amber doesn't know what to do now. Later, the women introduced their new friend to Phil. While Kate and Amber were chatting, Carly and Phil were admiring the ocean. It seems they have a lot in common. The company was having a good time. The women felt each other's support, and this gave them confidence. In the morning, Kate admitted that she wants revenge on her husband. She wants Mark to feel the same way she does. The friends supported her in this aspiration and decided that they would act together. From this day on, they began to prepare their plan for revenge. Kate bought hormones and mixed it in Mark's cocktail. In addition, she put hair removal cream in his shampoo. In the evening, Mark met Carly in a restaurant, who pretended to forgive him. When he stepped back because of the phone call, Carly added something to his glass. When Mark returned to the table, Carly casually complained that her father was getting a divorce, and his wife is claiming half his money. Mark hinted that he knew a fraudulent scheme to avoid this. At this point his stomach ached. As they were leaving, Carly couldn't hide a smile. Mark didn't make it to the restroom in time. He asked a waiter to buy him new trousers and gave him money. In the evening, Mark returned home in ridiculous red pants given to him by a passing hipster. It turned out that the waiter had deceived him. In the evening, Carly introduced her father to Amber. Frank mentioned that he had broken up with his girlfriend. Beautiful Amber immediately caught his interest. Carly told her father about Mark's fraudulent scheme. Frank in turn explained to his daughter how capital preservation schemes work and which companies to contact. Carly immediately began studying this issue. That same evening, Amber suggested to Mark to meet certain Dana to have a fun time together. Of course Mark agreed. However, he did not expect at all that Dana was far from attractive. In the morning, Mark noticed that his hair began to fall out. On top of everything else, he gained weight. Mark doesn't understand what is happening to him. And of course it never occurs to him that his wife is behind it. Later, the women met, continuing to work out their plan for revenge. Despite everything, Kate is upset with the situation. She got drunk while watching videos of her wedding with Mark. Since she wasn't answering calls, Carly came to her. Seeing her friend in a wedding dress, she understood everything. The women had a heart-to-heart talk, when suddenly Mark returned home early. Carly barely had time to hide. Seeing his wife in the wedding dress, Mark was bewildered. He was close to revealing Kate's revenge plan. However, when Mark went for a drink, Carly managed to slip away unnoticed. Later, Mark and his wife went out to dinner with the investors. As it turned out, Kate was the author of some of the ideas that Mark uses for his projects. It was a beautiful evening. Mark is very proud of his success, while Kate misses the old times when she was truly happy with her husband. Later, Carly shared news with her friends. Using her sources, she found out that Mark was stealing money from his investors. However, Kate is already doubting whether she wants a divorce. In her opinion, Mark can change. Amber supported her friend in this, but Carly invited Mark for coffee to prove Kate wrong. When Kate had already left, feeling upset, Mark texted Carly that he would be happy to meet her on Friday. Carly is very saddened due to the quarrel with Kate. She met with Phil and shared all her feelings. Carly said she wished only good for Kate, but now she is not sure what to do next. Kate realized that her husband will never change. He once again made her sign some papers. That same day, Kate came to Carly. They hugged and forgave each other. Kate found out that her husband was planning to go to the Bahamas. She intends to follow him in order to expose his fraudulent scheme. But Carly refused to take part in this. She wants to forget Mark and move on, leaving the past behind. Kate was sympathetic to her choice. Regardless, the women will remain best friends. However, seeing the name of her company on Mark's documents, Carly changed her mind. Kate did not expect Carly and Amber to follow her to the Bahamas. Carly explained that Kate is listed as the CEO of Mark's company, which means that if his fraud is exposed, she will be the one to answer for it. Of course, Kate was unaware of this. Carly promised to sort out this situation. All they need to do is find the bank where Mark was making transfers. The girlfriends have organized a stakeout for Mark, who met with another woman. The man has no idea that he is being followed by those he deceived. By following Mark, the friends found out which bank he collaborates with. That night they went to a party. A handsome man approached Kate and invited her to dance. At this time Amber confessed to Carly that she had a new suitor. Perhaps this is her soulmate. Kate woke up early in the morning and threw her wedding ring into the ocean. Watching this, Carly felt proud of her friend. All three women gathered together to get revenge on the man who betrayed them. It was time to put their plan into action. Determined, Kate walked into the bank. After some time, Mark came to the office to close a deal. But he did not expect to see Kate, Carly, and Amber all together. Kate declared that she wanted to file for divorce. Mark begged his wife to forgive him. He promised to change, but Kate of course did not believe him. Carly told Mark that he was nothing, and showed him the document. Seeing this, Mark realized with horror that the women knew about his fraudulent scheme. As the CEO of his company, Kate was able to withdraw all the money from there. Now Mark is bankrupt. Suddenly Mark's investor, who had already seen this document, came into the office. The investor fired Mark and said he remains free only because Kate returned all the money. Mark was furious. He always considered his wife foolish and long refused to acknowledge his defeat. Some time passed. Kate, Carly, and Amber are celebrating their success. Carly raised a toast to true friends. Kate's career took off. Carly is now dating Phil, and they are expecting a baby. Amber and Frank are now together too and are traveling around the world.